My young friends, today we are dealing with biodiversity. Probably we are dealing in two parts. After that, we deal with conservation and climate change. It seems to be, I have gone through many of the papers, seems to be for prelims, this is a very interesting topic wherein now 3 to 4 questions are appearing every year. That's why one needs to understand this concept wise as well as no, there are many memory based things here. Normally this ecology and environment based things are dry subjects. We consider them as a dry, but still you need to understand because it's a recurring subject. It has got a lot of current importance. In current affairs also it will be touched because many of the resolutions are being taken by various governments to protect the environment. Various acts are being made at various places to protect the environment, and lot of money is being spent to by all governments in the world to protect environment. Why this environment need to be protected? You all know we are living in the environment. Without a plant, you see, imagine how our life would be. Without the small animals, pet animals, or no, without the insects, without birds, how our life would be. This is hard to imagine. One cannot imagine at all. That's why while introducing the subject, they have started in a very sarcastic way. If an alien person comes from the sky or from some other planet, when he comes to Earth, he will be really bewildered to see many thousands of species of plants, animals, insects, many things for that matter. It's not restricted to 10, 20, 100. It is in lakhs and millions. One rough estimate is that in the world, the known species of plants and animals put together is around 15 lakhs, 1.5 million. 1.5 million species of plants and animals are existing in the world which are known to the man, which are recorded officially. But a rough estimate is that another 7 to 10 lakhs, 10 millions, that is another 70 lakh species are yet unrecorded. In India also, they say another 3 to 4 lakhs species, plants and animals are yet to be recorded. Leave alone the case of prokaryotes and prokaryotes, which we have discussed last time. They are not concerned about it. Only the vascular plants, that means no flowering plants, and insects, animals. All kinds of plants, all kinds of animals, including insects. When I am talking about animals, you kindly bear in your mind, I am talking about all things, including the insects. A bird also comes under an animal for me, for this kind of record. So, what I am saying is that a little part of the existing living plants or animals are recorded, known to the man. A major part of it is yet to be recorded because of various reasons. No, they are not recorded at all. It needs the effort of thousands and lakhs of the scientists to analyze each thing, find out a new thing, record its characters, and then now ultimately add its name in the records. So, vast vast kinds of, many kinds of plants and animals are existing in the world. This is called diversity. Biodiversity is nothing but bio means life, living. Diversity means a variety. Lot of living things are living, plants and animals are in the world, are on the earth, living along with us. We are living among along with them. It's a kind of a commensalism. Sometimes we help them, Majority of the times now they help us. In this way, the living is being done on the earth. So the lot of variety of the living organisms in its natural organization is called biodiversity. A simple thing which you need to remember is that bio means life, diversity is the variety. That means lot of varieties of the living organisms are on the earth. This is called biodiversity. You will be really wondered if I say there are about 20,000 birds are there in the world. Almost 3 lakh different kinds of insects are known. About 28,000 kinds of fish are known. 20,000 kinds of orchids are known. See, likewise, every organism of importance, there are no thousands of varieties of that particular organism is available. They are living in a different areas. They call it a ecosystems where it is conveniently, where it can live its life conveniently in whatever kind of requirements are there. In such kind of an area they are living. The living areas are called ecosystems. I will also come to that part a little later. First, I need you to understand the term biodiversity. A scientist called Harold Wilson has coined this word biodiversity. International Earth Summit, they have specifically mentioned biodiversity is nothing but the total diversity of the living organisms in its habitat in the world, including species and ecosystems, is called biodiversity. No question will come here, but I am only making you to understand what is biodiversity. Even the numbers I mentioned, they are of not a significance, but they are significant for you because you need to know these many huge numbers are on the earth. They are available on the earth because we haven't seen them. We haven't observed them unless we read, we see, we go to a museum, specified areas where you find lot of species have a particular organism, then only opportunity comes. Otherwise, it is only information available in books. I need you to understand there is a lot of diversity around you, lot of diversity is in the world. That is the simple thing. Well, I told you about biodiversity. I, in simple terms, simplest terms, I tried to make you understand the meaning of biodiversity. Now, what are the different levels of biodiversity? Let me go there. There are 3 levels of biodiversity. One is genetic biodiversity. Genetic biodiversity is nothing but same organism in various with small changes in various forms if it is available. It is called by same name, but only a little change will be there. Suppose in human beings, everything will be same. The 2 legs, 2 hands, mouth, everything is same. But you see, there will be a little change in the genetic composition where a small trait differs from individual to individual. This variation in the genes is called genetic variation. It can happen anywhere. For an example, I am taking a plant Rauwolfia serpentina, Rauwolfia vomitoria. This Rauwolfia is otherwise called Sarpagandhi in Sanskrit. This is an antidote for snake venom. An alkaloid called reserpine is extracted from Rauwolfia. In Himalayan region, if you see, there will be thousands of Rauwolfia plants available with small differences. The difference is in respect to the concentration of the alkaloid available and the quality of the alkaloid. When you analyze it, When you take out the alkaloid, extract the alkaloid, then you test for concentration, all plants in that Himalayan region producing this Rawalfia, this serpentine, this reserpine will not have a same concentration, will not have of a same quality. How this is possible? In the gene component, somewhere a small part of the genes, a change will occur. With that, this small part, this small difference, you will find in the concentration of the reserpine. 99% of the genes in a human beings are same. Only that remaining 1% causes all variations. One particular, last time I mentioned about DNA, RNA. Any small variation occurs in a DNA of a particular chromosome, a variation occurs. With this kind of variations occurring in a gene of a particular species, this is called genetic diversity. Where the area can be anything. Here I am talking about only one species, that means one plant or one animal, which is giving thousands of different types of same thing, is genetic variation. The second part is species diversity. A plant or an animal. In the first genetic variation, I told you the genetial of a species I mentioned. Now I am talking about a species as a whole. Here, the number of species. Species variation, species diversity means number of species, same thing, you occur in one particular ecosystem, one species will occur. It will have 50 in number. In a different near area, you will find particular species, one particular plant and animal, let us say 50 in number. When you go to a desert area, this species cannot be seen at all. This is called species variation. Similar kind of it one. Similarly, the species can be any number. I'm not talking about one single species. This species in an area can be any number. This is species diversity. The third one is ecosystem diversity. That means, I told you, in desert, you find altogether different kinds of plants and animals because there it will be really hot. You need to have animals which can withstand that heat. You need to have plants there which can thrive without water. So such kind of some requirements are there. That is why the area ecosystem is nothing but a particular area with some characters. A forest area. A forest area is dense with forests. It will have bioma. It will have good fertile soil will be there. You take a river ecosystem. Only water will be there and sand will be there. Some kind of, that's why here each area, each area of characters, specific characteristics are called ecosystems. Eco nothing but environment, system is that area with those characters is the ecosystem you call it. Likewise, there are desert ecosystems, there are forest ecosystems, mangrove ecosystems, estuary means where river is good water, where river is joining a sea, that area is called estuary. Where salinity will be more, compared to sea, salinity will be less in the water, but compared to fresh water, salinity will be more. Here you need you will have a different kind, you find different kind of animals there, different kind of plants will be there. And there is an alpine ecosystem, there are meadows, there are grasslands. Likewise, the entire climate, entire environment is divided into various ecosystems with definite characters, because the diversified species and then no species of living organisms will be found in each ecosystem differently. This is also called a diversification. That means diversification, diversity is in three ways. Three levels of diversity is there. One is genetic diversity. It's related to gene of a species. Second is species diversity. It is varieties of plants in a in an area. The third one, ecosystem diversity. That means the place with geographical conditions and characteristics of the area, you will find animals and plants. These are the three levels of biodiversity. You will have to remember them, because you can be asked a tricky question somewhere. Now out of the four or three answers which they are giving, one can be a tricky, one can be a misleading one. That is why I want you to remember the differences and the levels of biodiversity. Well, let us move on to what all is there, what this biodiversity, how this biodiversity is currently distributed in the world as well as in India. I told you there are about 15 lakh, 1.5 million of species of living organisms are there in the world. Known. Unknown, I told you about 70 lakhs are unknown, yet to be recorded. This 1.5, if you are talking about animals, 70% of the animals you are finding in this diversified world, they are insects. 70% are animals, 22% of plants. Out of the 70% animals, again 70% you will find only the insects. That means for every 10 animals, you have 7 insects. Insect population is, insect variety is too large. I'm not talking about population. I'm talking about variety in insects is too large. That means every 10 animals you are finding it, 7 are insects. That kind of a variation is there. Again, in plants, I told you, plant percentage is 22% out of the whole living organisms. In the plants, in the 22%, again 50% occupies the fungi. The disease causing organisms, 50% you will find only fungi. And 50% and remaining, no, another 40% will be flowering plants. Remaining things, no, algae, lichens, that, this and all that, no, that's the kind of a distribution. Entire world is divided into 8, they call it a realms, REALMS, realm. The world is divided into 8 realms as far biodiversity is concerned. Realm is nothing but equivalent to a continent or a subcontinent area which has got similar geographical conditions and similar kinds of majority of species. You will find similar species of animals and plants you will find in that entire subcontinent or continental area. This bigger area is called a realm. World is divided into 8 realms. Out of that, in India, they have identified 2 realms. These 2 realms both are, one is Himalayan realm. This is also called Paleo-Arctic realm. The second is Malayan realm. Both are no Himalayan and Western Ghats that side only. These two realms are there in India. In world, there are 8 realms. Realm is nothing but a larger chunk of area equivalent to a continent or subcontinent where similar geographical and conditions and diversified species of animals and plants occur. Then the subdivision of realm is, a realm is divided into biomes. Biome is a reasonable amount of an area with same climatic conditions. This is called, that means no, a smaller portion of a realm is a biome. This biome will have exactly similar climatic conditions. Then biome is again divided into biome is again divided into geographical, into biogeographic zones. These biogeographical zones have common species. Biogeographical zone is again divided into geographical provinces. That means no, the division of whole world based on diversity is that realms realms are divided into biomes. Biomes are divided into biogeographical zones, and biogeographical zones are divided into geographical provinces. It is so it's a larger area is a realm. Then biome is with similar climatic conditions. Zone of similar climatic conditions in a realm is a biome. Then common occurrence of the species is called biogeographical zone. Then province is a much smaller area wherein it is further divided into limited species commonly found in the area is a province. These are also simply for academic interest, but question will not come here. This is, you need to understand the very concept of the whole concept of biodiversity, what all things are there. Majority of the part, no, which is not suitable to any question formation, and also which will not figuring in generally, basically of academic interest, which is needed by a degree student or no postgraduate student. That part I am eliminating. I am only trying to inform you to understand what is biodiversity, what are the levels of biodiversity, how do you identify biodiversity, and then know in world how biodiversity is distributed into geographical regions. This I am saying. One part which you need to understand is world is divided into 8 realms. Out of that, India has got 2 realms. One is Paleo-Arctic or Himalayan realm. The other is Malayan realm. These two are important. That particular question, now in an indirect fashion, sometime in 5-6 years ago, it was asked. Then, what are the patterns? Patterns of biodiversity. What is now how biodiversity, how it goes now, where it will be more, where it will be less, what are the conditions now prevailing there, and all that. Here biodiversity starts from equator to poles. As you go, it is called latitudinal gradient. They call it a latitudinal gradient. That means you start from the equator, center of the earth. From there, if you move towards the poles, where now poles will be cold in nature, ice formation will be there in poles, whereas center is really moist, humid forests will be there, lot of rainfall will be there. All forests, thick dense forests, including Amazon forest, everything is located in the around the equator zone. So diverse in the sense, more number of species, lot of variety of species, be it animals or plants, they are concentrated in the equator region. From the equator region, as you move towards the poles, number reduces, variation reduces, almost no. The conditions would be Now slowly it declines, and limited variation you will find near the poles, lot of variation you will find near the equator. Here a question including this is combining geography, your knowledge in geography, a question can come here. They start a country name from the equator, and then no, they will cite 3-4 countries names starting from equator to the pole, and then they will ask which one is correct. Lot of biodiversity occurs in this place, 1 2 3 4. Out of that, right answer you will have to see. Colombian forest, South Africa, African region, even India also comes under equator zone. That means no, hot, humid, tropical and subtropical area. Hot, humid, tropic, subtropics means here temperature is more, rainfall is more, and then temperature and rainfall, they are required for the plants to grow, and they multiply themselves. Thickness, denseness occurs wherever the plants are multiplying or animals are multiplying. Variation occurs in the genes. More number of species come. Same plant, more number of plants will come. In the same plant, more number of varieties will also come. That's why tropical, subtropical regions, the diversity is more compared to the polar regions. If you take an example, near the equator, there is a Colombia. From Colombia, if you move towards, in Colombia, Colombian forests, you will find 1400 varieties of birds. As you go towards New York, it comes to 105 only. Further, if you go to Greenland, where now it's totally covered with ice, there are only 56. Why these are all happening? Why this much variation? Because there are two things. One, there are no congenial conditions in the polar regions for multiplication of plants or animals, so that the number which are there, they are almost constant or they are declining. Because number is not multiplied, variation, there are limited chances for variation, limited chances for more number of species or more number of plants. Why tropical, subtropical areas have this kind of a large components of biodiversity? What are the factors for these things? In tropical subtropics, why diversity is occurring in a huge way? One, I told you, sunlight. Sunlight is the main source wherein plants, they produce through photosynthesis, they produce their food, they multiply, and reproduction is very fast. And then more number of varieties, more number of plants, both will occur because of that. Second is, over here, because of larger number of plants, larger number of species, more varieties of plants, species, because of this, the stability of the ecosystem is more. That means some number may get extinct. They may not disappear because of various reasons. But the fast reproduction rate is compensating that number. If one particular variety is extinct, it is compensated through production of another variety because of the gene changes. The third is, the diversified ecosystem has got a lot of stability. It will protect itself from any natural vagaries. These three reasons are the reasons are managing the subtropical and tropical regions with standard, stable and large biodiversified processes. Why it's not similar kind of thing is not happening in the poles? Poles, light is seasonal, and second thing is, the limited climatic conditions restrict the growth of or occurrence of a plant or animal. For reproduction, since no heat is only seasonal, even reproduction also, the number of species, multiplication of number of species, and no genetic occurrence is also low. Third point is with glaciers converting into water, now and then the glaciers are they cause damage to the existing diversified species, plants and animals, and the existing species extinct means it takes a lot of time again a new species to come up. This is one of the reason time and again the existing climate is getting disturbed. That is why existing plants and animals are also getting disturbed. So the gradient, latitudinal gradient, that means the center of the earth towards the poles, the biodiversity is more. Tropical forests have got a lot of variation, whereas as you reach the temperate areas, the diversification process is slow, rate is low. This earth is almost 3.8 billion old. All these current species, living organisms you are finding around you is evolved over thousands of years. These many years have taken for you to see all these things. But at what rate they are getting extinct means no, they are getting disappeared. In 2 centuries, in 200 years, the scientists are predicting 70% of the existing plants and animals which you are seeing will disappear. This disappearing is called extinct, EXTINCT. Extinct. Extinct means you can't find them. You will not notice them. You have seen a cat today, probably after 200 years, you will not find a cat. Your next generations have to say, 200 years ago, there were cats, and my grandfathers have seen the cats. I haven't seen the cat. So, no, this situation will arise. That's why the gradient I told you, and then know how this occurrence will be there. Second thing is, all the time they will be growing, all the time they are now go on increasing, or there is a limit for that. They call it there is a species area relationship. How they grow, up to what point they grow, where they stop. A species area relationship is nothing but they continue to grow. In any given ecosystem, plants will start grow, and then no, they grow up to an extent, and at a particular point, they stop growing, their growth declines, the number declines. This is called a rectangular hyperbola. When you take into convert into a mathematical proposition, this is called a rectangular hyperbola. One Mr. Humboldt is the scientist who created this hypothesis. That means he says it will not continuously grow. Any plant, any species, growing means no, it grows up to a certain point. After that, it starts declining. For every ecosystem, this holds good. This simply you remember it as a rectangular hyperbola.